Tony, the Kingspan espouses this envelope-first approach here to building design and energy efficiency. Can you talk us through that process? What does it mean?
When you start out to design a building, you want it to be as energy efficient as possible, so you don't want to use outside energy as much as you can, so you conserve what goes inside it. So think of the house as being, or building, or whatever it is, being similar to an esky. When you put any energy into it, cooling it or heating it, you want it to stay inside there. So the first thing to do is to make sure that floor, walls, windows, doors, roof, ceilings, whatever it is, seals it up. Therefore you can control what goes in and what goes out. Once the envelope is sealed up, then you can play with either passive systems, either getting fresh air in summer to run through it to cool it down, or getting sunlight to come in winter and heat it up. This passive energy, or anything that you put in as an active system, heating, ventilating, air conditioning as it's called, any of that stays conserved inside that isolated box, if you like. The building is esky to start off with.
How hard is it to educate the community in general about things like this?
On one level, the industry knows about it very, very well, and designers know about it, builders know about it, but the actual purchasing public have it as an important thing. They rate it very highly when asked about it, but when it comes time to building it and the money comes to it, because it's not seen, it's not like a beautiful stone bench top, it's not like, French oak floorboards or something like that, or it's not a really important aspect to the building that you visually see, it often drops down the criteria. That's the real problem we have, is that the public know about it, they appreciate what it is, but they're not willing to put money towards it because it doesn't immediately respond to them, and it doesn't add to the value of the building when it comes to be sold.
So a lot of this is about educating people that if they spend a few extra dollars now, it's going to really pay off in the long run.
I'm not so sure that you do it that way. I'm an older person in this field, and my first encounter with it was what you might call moral encouragement. We went round saying it would be better for the world if everyone was green and you conserved energy. We converted a few hippies, but that was about all that happened. Then government got involved and said it must be regulated. You must meet a certain set of standards and try to educate the public about the need for meeting standards. That too, I don't think has really penetrated as much as lifestyle, what I call the third wave of energy efficiency, which is don't sell it as being energy efficient or for the environment, just say it's better for you. So if you say to people you want a more comfortable house, and people will tell you stories about people from Scandinavia who live in the cold and the freezing conditions, spending the coldest winter they ever have in Brisbane or Sydney. It's just because our houses are not thermally comfortable. So we've switched now from talking about energy efficiency to talk about human comfort, to make it back to the person who's the occupant, the purchaser, the buyer, and say you'll be more comfortable. One of the key things in that is human health. A fully insulated building is much healthier because you don't get condensation, you don't get the problems of excess humidity in the building, you don't get a build-up of dust and so on, which happens. So if you've got a building that lets air filtrate all through the building, then you've got no control over it, and you've got any amount of toxins and so on coming in and so on, or in the building itself. So if you say to people, you'll be more thermally comfortable and you'll be healthier if you adopt these energy efficiency principles, that, in my experience, strikes a bigger chord. It tends to make people feel, I'm buying something that's worthwhile.